Hello, everyone. It's me, Rebel Trader from Take the Initiative. We've got a pre-recorded TTI match for you. This was played several days ago, but I haven't gotten around to recording it yet, and I've been doing a lot of live streaming games and other stuff. So here we have it, a few days late. This is Buku versus Two Moons Thieves. I don't know who won yet. It's been posted in the TTI channel, but I don't know who won yet. So we're going to see and find out today for the first time. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah, this is our last top 24 match. So after this, it's all top 16, and we're starting to get some people set in the top 8. Here are the deck lists. This is Buku's. It's it's Sabine. I think no new cards. same as all the other Sabine decks in the top cut. It does have some interesting ones in there. It's got Bright Hopes in the main, and as well as a copy of Rebel Pathfinder. So we'll see how that one works out. This is Two Moons list. It's it's Palp2. There's lots of different ways of building this Palp2 deck. Some of them are on Cad Banes. This one is. Some are on Avengers. This one is not. This one is a bit lower to the ground, so it has, I think, a bit better odds into Sabine, but we'll see how that ends up working. There's also one copy of Devastating Gunship. I don't believe the other Palp2 list we had in the top cut is on that tech. So without further ado, let's get into it. It looks like Buku is going to start with the initiative here and open with an A-Wing, which is going to get answered here by the Restored Arc. Two Moons is on the Geonosian Starfighter tech, which allows you to guarantee the Palp2 flip on turn 2. So he can do that now if he wants. We'll see how it works out. Goes for the fleet here. If it was Wing Leader, I think we would have seen the Starfighter, but with Fleet Lieutenant, I think. Well, I mean, you do want to flip this turn because you want to get into Childson next turn. But at the same time, sacking the Arc here doesn't feel great. One thing that you could do is, okay, it looks like he's thinking about it. Because if you do go for the Geonosian Starfighter, the Starfighter does trade with A-Wing next turn. So going Arc to base, then sacking it. Looks like he is going to go Arc to base. So that part is happening. Buku's going to ping here, and we got 3 resources for, it is the Starfighter. And, I mean, it feels bad to balance Fleet Lieutenant, but, you do trade with the A-Wing. I think Buku, is considering just going for Metal Ceremony here to protect the A-Wing here. All right, and yeah, Palpatine's going to flip. Heal 2, pick up another card. Yeah, Vigilance. So it is a blue card, which is exactly what you want to see for the purposes of Childson. And yeah, there's Lothal Insurgent, which means this Childson is going to be a 6/6 when it comes down. Buku's got the Darksaber though, which could help him get through that Childson. All right, and there is the Childson. That is now a 6/6 Childson. This also enables Two Moons to flip back to hero if he wants. I'm not sure if he does. It might be worth it just to get the clone trooper out, increase your ground presence, and then set up a flip for next turn. But I mean, he doesn't really have the flip set up for next turn because he would have to play the village protectors and it would die, or maybe play something else. He is going to go for the flip though. Gets out that clone trooper. That metal ceremony is actually kind of massive. Preventing this Starfighter from dealing with the A-Wing. All right, here's the Sabine. A Dark-Sabered Sabine does clear Childson and survive. It would be able to be killed by the clone trooper next round. But I mean, being a 2-for-1 sometimes, even into controlled decks is important. All right. 2 Moons is going to claim here. Takes the 6. And I guess, one more to base there. And on we go to the next round here. Difficult resource decision for 2 minutes here. Ends up going with the Fel. And presumably we're just going to see the clone knock out the Sabine. Yep, exactly. And actually, so the clone dying there actually does set up the Palp2 flip. Sorry. So I'm still used to navigating the dynamics of Palp2 flipping. But yes, Palp2 can flip back this turn because that clone trooper died. And he doesn't have to play out the village protectors. Which also means that when he flips, he can play another 6/6 Childson. But regardless, he still has to deal with the space presence. He's got, I mean, he does have another option for doing that, which is, taking out the wing leader with this patrol craft and then playing Power of the Dark Side. And that requires flipping first, so he's going to do that, I think, no matter what you flip here. And he's going to take, what, 5, 6? Yeah, 6. Which is rough. All right, looks like he's not going for the Power of the Dark Side line, and he's instead just going to go for this Childson. But if he did go for the Dark Side line, another thing he could do is well, it's not exactly a Dark Side line, but a different line he has is ram the patrol craft into the A-Wing, and then Vigilance it next turn. All right, there we go. And the Childson has hit the table again. Buku's got the ability to play out a Battlefield Marine, although it is just going to get eaten immediately, so I think he might just want to claim. Buku still does have the ECL up, which means if he draws like a Wrecker next turn, he can really dish out the punishment here. All right, he is going to go for the Marine. And now let's see if 2 Moons decides to do with this patrol craft. He could clear Wing Leader. He could set up the Vigilance onto A-Wing. He could hit base, which is actually not a bad move. Or he could just take initiative here. If he takes initiative, he doesn't have a way immediately to deal with the A-Wing. And I'm not sure if he has anything he could top deck that deals with it. So it's, I mean, it's trouble either way. I don't know what's taking so long. Can I skip forward? Ooh. All right, there we go. I can skip forward a bit. So it looks like he ended up hitting the A-wing. But Buku gets initiative and gets to strike immediately with the A-wing. And just like we were talking about earlier, Buku picked up the wrecker. All right, wing leader is going to go to base here. Now, Two Moons. I mean, Two Moons is going to be taking 6 from the wrecker here. I think he's got to go Vigilance. Yep. Vigilance, heal 5. Knock out the A-wing. And there is... Oh. Not yet, but... Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's ECL, wrecker. Blows up the Darksaber out of the resource row. And that's going to be 6 to base. The wrecker does die in the process. But Buku now has... he's very close to lethal. So he goes Marine to base. That gets you to 25. Sabine is 26. And now Fleet Lieutenant plus either of these units is lethal next round. Two Moons does have like ways of forestalling that. Like he can go Vigilance, heal 5, defeat one of the units. Which I mean, it keeps him alive. Yep, that's what's gonna happen. So now he's 9 away. I think Buku got a Cassian? Which, I mean, if he does have a Cassian, that puts him again pretty close. All right, first we're going to go Wing Leader. Two Moons gets initiative here. I mean, even just playing this K2 out of hand is like 3 more guaranteed damage. Sabine Peng gets you another one. There's Battlefield Marine. You've really got to be hoping for Super Laser Blast pretty much exactly if you're Two Moons. Doesn't get Super Laser Blast. He's got 6 health left. No Vigilance again. Can he do it? In this hand, I don't think he can do it. He did get pretty close. 17 damage on the base. Just 8 away from winning. He does have like Cad Bane, which keeps him in it for a while. But I mean, like, once that Cad dies, things can change. I guess we'll see. I mean, actually, Cad could be, because I was thinking like Cad dies to Poe, but without ECL, that happens next turn. And Two Moons does have the No Good to Me Dead. And depending on what else, I mean, another thing that Buku can just do is go like Fighters, Fleet Lieutenant, and he's got 2 different threats. If he does have a Cassian, he can go Cassian, deal 3 to base, and that means, if you draw 4 cards, it's lethal. But he is just going to go for like the safe play and go for the Poe, which is going to force the claim here. Two Moons is actually definitely in it. Super Laser Blast also picked up. That means, like, if this thing goes long, he's got that tool. He does need to find a way to heal, because as soon as that K2 comes back, like, things are rough. All right, there's power. He doesn't even know you're going to be that thing, just power. Yeah. One way to heal is to get back to the Palpatine front side. There's the Cassian we were talking about. Two Moon says I've no good to be dead for it, which yep, that's going to come out here. Boom. Does Two Moons actually has lethal this turn with Palpatine flip plus CAD? Am I doing my math right? And yeah, that's exactly it. And Two Moons takes game 1. All right, let's talk about sideboards. Well, we wait for game 2. Two Moons has got a couple more things that are going to help him in this aggro matchup. He's got Redemptions in there. He's got the third Cad Bane. He's got another copy of Devastating Gunship, which, I mean, that's more in there for Jango. It can be helpful in this matchup. It deals with, like, wing leaders, things like that. He's also got Making Openings, which could come in just for the extra healing. Maybe Spark Rebellion comes in. Generally speaking, you want units against aggro, but sometimes a good Spark is can do the trick. On the other side, Buku's, he's got some things that can deal with this matchup. He's got more copies of, or he actually is not main decking Timely Intervention, but he's got 2 in the sideboard, which can come in. Those are really helpful in the long game. Adelphi Patrol Wing is just another difficult to out card. Honorable Sacrifice can be another thing that comes in and helps to deal with some of these things. Daring Raid is a possibility as well. But let's get back into the match. We're about ready to start game 2 here. Oh, sorry. We're again, shout out to Serraf for recording this. We're just gonna make some adjustments so we can see the hands exactly. All right. All right. This time Buku has initiative. I think he actually had it last time, but he's got it this time for sure. He's got the Rebel Pathfinder. Pathfinder is an interesting one. It gets through Childson, which is impactful here. And he's got the Wrecker in the opening hand, which is, I think, is such a key card in this matchup, but he's actually just going to resource it. Alongside that, Metal Ceremony. Metal Ceremony was big last round, so. All right. Here's the Phase 1 Clone Trooper. It's just a 3/2. It trades with the Pathfinder, and it sets up the Palpatine flip. Two Moons, Palpatine is actually on the wrong side right now. It should be on the hero side. Picks up the Cad Bane, the card that won him the last game. Difficult resource decision for both players. Buku has the wing leader here, which does save the Pathfinder from an untimely fate at the hands of this Phase Trooper. But Two Moons does have the Making Opening, which can complete that. And it looks like Two Moons is actually going to resource the Cad Bane here. We'll see if that comes back to bite him. Yep, there's the wing leader. And that's going to be met by Make an Opening. Make an Opening now, I think, is effectively the same as Make an Opening later. Because now he's just going to take 2 from the attack. Whereas if he had waited, he would have taken 4, but then gone back down to 2. So the sequencing doesn't really matter. Either way, the result is the same. All right, there we go. There's the trade set up. And there's the flip. The flip is kind of dangerous here without a villain card in hand. Well, I mean, besides the No Gonna Be Dead, and he doesn't pick up another one. So, I mean, he's going to be forced to play a hero card out of aspect for 4, or just play this No Good to Me Dead. That's the trouble with Palp, is sometimes you get stranded on the wrong side. All right, and there's K2. I think we might see No Good to Me Dead just to like keep the K2 tapped for next round, and then flip back. And yeah, that's what's gonna happen here. If he does this, he can actually flip back and then play the Thal Insurgent naturally. And then next turn, we can see either the Protectors or the Conquer Dawn Interceptors. Sabine goes to base here, and we are going to see the Lethal Insurgent reinforce this ground arena here, which is going to trigger. So Buku gets to draw a card, and then discards one of the random of those 4. 2 Fleet Lieutenants, 50% for that, 50% for something else. And it is the R2. Not particularly important here. R2 is basically just going to be a resource, but you know, in this game, anytime you can hit a card out of your opponent's hand, you know, it was going to be a resource, which, you know, so it's advantage no matter what. Buku still has the Metal Ceremony if he wants to go for it here. And yeah, that happens. Two Moons, Resources of Redemption there. He still has 1 in hand. If he can just get, you know, 3 more turns, then he can play it. All right, here's the Village Protectors. Going to be gumming up the ground arena here. Oh yeah, the K2 should be exhausted. But ECL Sabine clears those village people quite nicely if Buku wants to go for it. That would turn on the Palp2 flip, but the Palp2 flip, if 2 Moons wants it, is basically going to be on no matter what, because if he can crash one of these units into something. All right, yeah, we are going to see the ECL Sabine to eat the Village Protectors. Clone Trooper might just finish off the Sabine here, or it might, you know, run into something else. It is going to be the Sabine. Is that? Yeah, that works. Yeah, there's no green unit out there, so you can attack the Sabine. I always forget that Sabine has that protection ability. All right. There's the Palp2 flip. Heal 2. Draw another card. That's, if you're keeping track at home, that's the 3rd Palp2 flip here. Once to villain, once to villain, once to hero, and then once back to villain. I think we only saw that many in the first game as well. I'm pretty sure it was only 3. Or, well, I guess we saw the extra one at the end to win the game. So I think it was 4 last game. Two Minutes is figuring out what to do with this Lethal Insurgent. He ends up just going to base with it. 4 to base, though, from the Wing Leader. And Buku is quickly building up an overwhelming force here. We're two turns away from a potential Super Laser Blast or Redemption. Vigilance this turn can stop some of the bleeding, but like Buku's got a pretty formidable board here. He's got Sabine, which is hitting for 4 damage and has 6 health. He's got the K2, which is hitting for 4 and also is a guaranteed 3 damage when it dies. He's got the red 3, which is buffing everything else, and this wing leader that has an experience on it, so it's like a 3/2. So Vigilance here can clear either wing leader or red 3. I mean, the clear pick is red 3 because you save the raid as well. So yeah, once that happens, Toomins is just facing 11 damage right now on board, plus potentially the Fleet Lieutenant out of hand. And all this, All right, yeah. So K2 is going to run over the Lothal. And Sabine hits for 4 here. And Buku's looking at his resources. If he's got... Okay, he's just going to go for fighters and possibly also this Spec Force. Okay, just go for... Yeah, Spec Force just to trigger fighters here. It looks like he missed the fighters trigger, actually. All right, and this is... I mean, this is a real rough spot for 2 Moons. He can go for Vigilance, which heals him some. But if he goes for that, he can't flip Palp2. He really wants to flip Palp2 because then he gets to play... okay, there we go. We got the Fighters for Freedom. Because if he flips, he gets to play Redemption, which keeps him in this. But right now, Buku's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage on board, plus 4 more out of hand. All right, we're going to get a 5/5 Childs in here. But, like, I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Buku's going to win this turn. Because he can go, like, Honorable Sacrifice, K2 into Childson. That means he's just going to get 1 Overwhelm, but he's going to get 3 more on base. So that's going to be 4 to base. And I don't think there's anything that can be done about that. Yeah, so 2 Moons is going to scoop it up here, and we're going to a decisive game 3 here. All right, and here is game 3. 2 Moons has the initiative this time. He's got the same play that he had game 1, which was like Restore Dark into Genosian Fighter. He's got the Cad Bane also. Remember last game we did see the Cad Bane get resourced early, and I don't know if it would have been decisive, but in fact, it probably almost certainly wouldn't have been decisive, but it might have been helpful to have it that last turn in the previous game. So difficult resource decisions for both sides here. For Buku, it looks like he's got Forakaz, double wing leader, Wrecker, Cassian, R2. So it looks like I think definitely it's the second wing leader. I think like in this matchup, you can probably feel safe about R2 not dying. So I would personally, for me, it would be wing leader Cassian. On 2 inside, he resources double vigilance, which is rough. Vigilance is generally a card you want at least one of. It can definitely be a key stabilizer into aggro. All right. Is Buku AFK or something? Can I skip forward? All right. Sorry. Skipping forward there. We've got Restore Dark, R2, Sabine ping happen turn 1. Sorry about skipping forward. Just looked like we were going to be there for a while. All right. Restore Dark hits the base. And now let's see what the play is from Buku. He's got, 3 different ones here. Red 3, Fleet, and the Wing Leader. I guess theoretically also the Forecast, but you're generally not playing that on 3 here. Buku, this is open list, so Buku does know about the risk of getting Genoshinned here. That's interesting. So he goes R2 to base first. And then the follow on, like red 3. That's an interesting play. So all 3 of these units get you extra damage when paired with R2. But it's, you could argue that it's like not much, and you're worth giving it up for the possibility of baiting 2 moons into taking initiative. But it looks like he's not going to do that. He just passed. So now here comes the Genoshin fighter, gonna bounce back that red 3. Like, and here, Buku's kind of vindicated because he's in the same spot he would have been if he had played the red 3 first, right? Except I think he wouldn't actually have initiative. Or maybe he would have anyway, but he didn't lose anything by not playing the red 3 first, even though it seems like you would want to get the damage in. The fact that Palp2 heals 2 is a game changer there. All right, R2 goes 1 to base here. And the patrol fighter is going to go to 3 to base. And Sabine's going to ping here. 2 Moons is actually getting out to quite the damage lead. All right, and here is Bazine coming in. That is a pretty stacked hand for Buku. You'd be fine taking like any of these cards. Wrecker or Forecast is probably the most concerning. Both of those are I think for me it's one of those two. It's either Wrecker or Forecast. And let's see, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be Wrecker. Oh, and he's writing down the cards. Wrecker, I think, is a solid play there. Buku does draw into Fighters for Freedom. Not the greatest play. No Gonna Be Dead, going to exhaust Sabine. Prevent either of those 3-drop units, the fleet or the wing leader, from really being a major factor here. But, in the absence of using one of those, the Fighters is a solid play here. Two Moons also can flip Palp2 back this turn. It looks like we're going to see... Timely Wing Leader. That's an interesting one. Buffs up the R2. So now it's a 3/6. Palp2 going to burn for 2, make a token. 2 Moons is, has a pretty big damage lead. Genoshin Fighter here picked up, which is a great out to the R2. He doesn't even have to exploit for it. He can actually just hardcast it. Although maybe he wants to exploit it. He's got the Queel also, which is... Queel is a good card to get down here to start, maybe restoring a little bit, maybe digging deeper into your deck. And he doesn't really have a use for this Bazine. Clone Trooper is a bit more useful. But you also do want to defeat the Clone Trooper for the purposes of flipping Palp here. And Buku can't get a Poe here. Poe is something that he would really like to be able to ECL with, or even like a K2 to ECL with. Or actually, he does have K2. Never mind. I just saw that in his hand. This ECL is kind of a wasting asset here. Although it actually could be useful to keep it in the late game as Cad Bane becomes a threat, and you need to ECL like a Poe, for example, to clear Cad Bane. R2 is just going to go to base on his own for now. And now it's 2 Moon's action. He's got to decide what he's going to do. He can play this slow if he wants. There's lots of turtles he could take. He's got these 2 units up. He doesn't necessarily need to make a decision right now as to exactly what he's going to do. All right, he is going to go for the Queel, which basically locks him into... It doesn't lock him into going for the Genosian. But if he is going to go for the Genosian, it locks him into exploiting to get to it. And he's not going to go for the Genosian at all. Going to go for Village Protectors. He can still engineer a flip by ramming this Clone Trooper into something. But he's not going to. Just going to keep everything on board. You do definitely want to flip this turn so you can get a CAD. Or 2 Moons does, I think. Want to flip this turn to get to CAD next turn. But that should not be difficult to do at all. And there's that Poe we were talking about for Buku. Which, if it comes down now, would be quite massive. But first, we're actually going to see the Sabine run over the shield here on this Village Protectors. Village people are going to run into the base while they can. K2 takes out the Protectors. That turns on the Palp2 officially. Before he flips, though, 2 Moons has another copy of Village Protectors. But he's actually going to first go for the Genosian, finally, to clear that R2 and bounce it back. And there's the Poe you were talking about with the ECL, or yes, with the ECL. So now Poe can actually take out both these units. He's gonna, so you ambush into the Queel, and then you throw some card in hand at one of these 2 units. Yeah, it's gonna be the Clone Trooper. He could have also thrown it at the Genosian, but you don't. You do it either. And here comes another Village Protectors, which is, I mean, in range of getting wrecked by the Poe. All right. We're now on to 7 resources here for 2 Moons. He's got Cad Bane in hand. He's got Redemption in hand for 8. If he plays the Cad this turn, he can flip back and set up the redemption. And he's only taken 6 damage on his base. So I like this position for 2 Moons, although he is facing down some pretty big units here in this Poe and the K2, and there's a Wrecker in hand as well. But if Buku's got initiative, and one thing he can do right now is go, attack Poe, discard 1 to kill the shield, discard 1 to kill the Genosian, and then he runs over Village Protectors, getting a full board clear. You can also go, like, for example, Spec Force Soldier, knock off the experience, and then, try to hit base. That is weak to the Cad Bane counterplay, and Buku does have to know it's coming. Buku could also just do a more limited play of, just clearing the Protectors with the Poe instead of, and not also clearing the Genosian. He's got an option. All right, and so he is going to attack with Poe. And let's see how he does it. He's thinking about whether to do the double kill or the more limited play. So it looks like he's going for the double. He's thinking about what the second discard is going to be. I think it's got to be Fleet. You got to keep 4 cause here. It is actually 4 cause. All right, and there is the CAD. Why did I listen to that CAD? All right, here's Wrecker for the Wrecker here is actually massive because it allows Sabine to go into CAD and rescue these units. And they come back full health. But Palpatine's now on his hero side, which means he can go for redemption. Although, I mean, redemption feels kind of weak when you're staring down these 3 massive ground units. What 2 Moons really needs is to get back to his villain side and, in the process, pick up a Super Laser Blast or another Cad Bane. For now, he's just he's marching the Clone Trooper into the base. But right now he's facing down 11 plus 6 is 17, potentially 19 damage this turn. He can forestall 8 of that with the redemption. I don't know. Personally, I would have probably not gone to base with Clone Trooper. Maybe 2 Moons has got some strategy to win by damage, like now, that I'm not seeing. It looks like it's gonna be redemption, only heal 6. That makes sense because it avoids the Poe. Does feel bad to underheal, but you keep your redemption alive through Poe. Poe's gonna go to base here and make that 8 to base. Puts 2 moons up to 15. Two moons. I mean, so next turn, 2 moons is going to be two actions away from lethal. He's going to have Clone Trooper attack, then Redemption attack. Here, so here's Fleet Lieutenant K2. Is it just going to be to base? Yeah, it's just going to be to base. Does Buku have anything in the resource row that can help him out here? Doesn't look like it. Oh, he still has the Sabine. Actually, the Sabine ping here is going to be massive. Or, well, you can't Sabine ping because then you lose to Redemption. Yeah, okay, wow. This is so tight. It's going to come down to what the draw is. But I think 2 Moon's strategy might have paid off, keeping this Clone Trooper alive instead of trying to engineer the flip. It's possible. Oh, Heroic Sacrifice, and that's going to be it, actually, unless... Well, actually, no. So 2 Moons can resource here and then go for the Cad Bane. And that keeps him alive. But he has to see it, and he has to... It's an alternative line. All right. This is 2 Moon's plan. If Buku, oh no, and he goes to the base here with the Clone Trooper, meaning that Heroic Sac Poe is, or Heroic Sac either Poe or Wrecker is lethal. And he had the Cad Bane to play around it. That's so rough. One action away from lethal. And now he's saying, why didn't I listen to that Cad? Why didn't I listen to the nature of his plans? Like when he talked, I shouldn't have balked. I shouldn't have ran. If you know that reference, then good on you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Congratulations to Buku for making it to the top 16. What a close one. It just comes down to what you choose to play around sometimes in these Sabine matchups. And, I mean, it always hurts when you play around the wrong thing. All right. We will be back with more content in the future. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to call this one here.